This is sadly the end of our time with Matt Vaughan. This is the final episode of the Matt Vaughan era.
That doesn't mean that he won't be back. It doesn't mean that Poker Time won't be back. We can guarantee, mostly, the Poker Time will be coming next Tuesday.
A lot of bad
Unless
things would have to happen.
the internet could go down forever.
Sure.
Things like that.
There are other apocalypse scenarios.
We could do like a live version of Poker Time, like with wood and stuff instead of the internet, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah. Build a stage out of wood.
Whoa. Brewer just folded queen 9 off from the... He did not defend the big blind with it.
I mean, it was a 4x raise in early position. It's not the worst.
Wasn't it? Didn't he make a 35?
No, it was 40.
It was. I'm surprised, that's all. Brewer plays a lot of hands, normally. He's already got $10 invested. Another $5 dead money in the pot.
Maybe he's waiting on a beer. Once he gets the beer, he'll step into gear.
It's not the end of the world to fold queen 9 off there for sure. Matt Vaughan did open in, what was he, +1. Still, I'm a little surprised that if they're only 8-handed, so he's opening from the low jack.
Well, Matt Vaughan has put on the blind raise here. Not a straddle. Just a very minus EV blind raise that a lot of people do on this game.
Yep. Just collect. It's because they're not allowed to straddle, in case you're wondering.
Yep.
Digital Dan going to just call the blind raise.
Well, he's a genius because Elwood's got aces. Elwood is our tells expert. He's written 3 books on tells.
He's not really our tells expert. He's everyone's tells expert.
He belongs to the poker guys.
See if Matt Vaughan is going to continue. King 9 is probably good enough to hold on here, even though Elwood is a bit tight. I don't think Matt can really fold a hand this good.
I think he can. I think if it's suited,
he's going to.
If it's suited, he's calling.
Suited, it's an easy call. King 10 off, he's going to call, right? I mean, we're right on the very edge here.
Dan's going to call.
Yeah.
When I say Elwood is our tells expert, I don't mean like we own him. I mean it's basically like a poor farm system where he has to do tells work for us to pay off his debts. That's what I mean.
I'm just going to let that lay out there in the sand. Okay, Dan's going to check. Dan's got, I guess, the one back door of hearts and nothing else.
That's 105.
So as easy a fold as you're going to find. I was a little unlucky that Digital Dan didn't raise pre. Normally he's going to raise pre with the A6 suited, I would think, when there's the blind raise, but he left it.
But Elwood wouldn't have made any more money that way. I mean, if he 3-bet, Dan would have folded. Dan probably would have made it less than 80.
Depends on how much he 3-bets too, though.
Check out this VPIP of our vlogger. This is our first vlogger to be the maximum VPIPper.
Sure, vloggers generally play a tight, controlled game. Not so with Matt Vaughan. Matt Vaughan is more of a Carmelo Anthony type, just going to throw up a lot of shots and see what happens.
46% is pretty high.
Yeah.
That's higher than most people would say is optimal.
Yes, that is correct. But he's winning in the game.
He's winning,
He's making it work.
And the sample size is small, so it's perfectly fine to have an outlier VPIP for a small sample size. Although he did 3-bet 7 deuce, so he's not exactly playing tight.
No, not at all. He's playing the loosest of anyone for sure.
Raised to 40. Fold.
Elwood's playing the tightest of anyone.
Yeah.
And Ken is probably playing the second loosest. I guess that's what the VPIP said.
Indeed, it did. He was 38%.
Well, he does have ace-queen here, but it looks like he's just going to get no action.
Something defensible in the big blind when you raise, but I can't bring myself.
Matt Vaughan.
I was dominated in a very ugly kind of way.
Friendly, talkative, vlogger, winning. And I know you don't like his haircut, but I think most of America would be pro Matt Vaughan's haircut.
Why do you keep doing this? Why do you pretend that I am the one who makes fun of his haircut? You make fun of his haircut. Go back, rewind the tape. Everybody go ahead. You know what? That's a good idea. Go rewatch the other episodes of Poker Time. It's probably a good idea.
And there's a lot of great material in there. I'll tell you what. Great material.
Mostly Jonathan making fun of people who appear in our game.
Well, that's the deal, isn't it?
He likes to criticize what they choose to wear, their hair, general demeanor, everything. Jonathan's critical of it. Come join Poker Time.
Fold.
If you can't handle being on YouTube, I mean, let's be honest, the commenters are way harsher than I am.
Oh, that's for sure.
So, I mean,
the commenters are the worst. All right, so
Isan's going to obviously defend here.
Yeah, Joseph is reeling a bit, by the way. He just lost a major flip pre-flop against Ken, kind of tournament style, when he had ace-queen and Ken had tens, and they both got way too many chips in with their hands.
Indeed, they did. Whole lot of nothing for everybody. 2 back doors, meaning total, between the two of them. There's 2 back doors, and that's going to do it right away, understandably.
And by Jonathan math, Joseph is now back to even over those
Yeah,
two hands.
over the last two hands. Yeah, he lost with ace queen. He just won with queen 7 suited. The thing that's crazy about poker is you can win that pot with queen 7 suited and you're even.
Yeah, totally.
Even ace queen was such a better hand.
You can't pay your mortgage, but you're even.
Yeah. I mean, you can't pay your mortgage. That's the broken logic that people like you use. We're talking about what, pot size and
Having to pay for things in life.
prices of things. I don't know. Cost. Weird. Equity. I don't know what those words mean. And I can't even spell them. All right, here's Matt Vaughan with ace jack off on the button, and he's just decided to 4x it from here on out, it looks like. And
I think 4xing it is reasonable in this game. He's going to get 3-bet here, though.
there's no way he's going to fold ace jack off on the button, right? That just seems crazy.
Looks like he's
Whoa.
just getting called. That's an interesting.
Wow.
And I'm kind of surprised Ken lays down the 3-4 off when he's getting such a price.
This is really surprising. Isan doesn't 3-bet. Ken doesn't call. Ken, by the way, who likes to call with a lot of hands.
Now, this might be balanced.
Oh,
Okay,
look at
this is going to
this.
hurt. This is going to hurt a lot.
Let's see how much money Matt Vaughan loses.
This is one of the advantages of flatting with ace-king here.
But he's out of position. It's still going to be hard to get a lot of chips in here. Unless he decides to check raise right away.
I wonder
Which
if
would be
it
the time
was
to do it, but
a balance flat or if he's kind of locking it up because he knows the session is coming to a
could be
close
that.
soon.
Wants to play a little bit carefully.
Doesn't love the 10.
Well, he was. Both these players, know that ace 10 is out there. 8-10 suited, I guess, is out there. That's about it with the 10.
Something weird
It
going
says
on.
all into call, but that's clearly not true. Isan did not move in. He
Nope,
checked.
There's just been a check.
And Vaughan is just going to load up for another bet. Clearly, Isan's never going to fold here. At this point, I think he should just be calling. Matt Vaughan can also have pocket 10s.
It also says Matt bet 45. I don't believe
No,
that's
it looks like, I
true.
think he grabbed a $100 chip. On
Looks
top
like
of
150 right there to me.
Let's see. Isan is going to make the call, and it looks like it is 150.
It's either 75 or 150.
Pretty sure there was a $100 chip in there. And here's the river. It's a
Ooh,
queen.
that's a card nobody wants to see.
Yeah.
Once again, it says Matt Vaughan is all in.
I don't
Once
know
again,
what's
I'm
going on
true.
there. Okay, Matt Vaughan has not been eliminated. Nothing's happened.
There's no eliminating in a cash game anyway.
Isan hasn't acted yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. I'm just going to ignore the graphics and watch the hand here.
They were getting
Yeah,
the turn
Matt
action
did.
in.
Matt did bet 150 on the turn. Isan called. Okay, so Isan has checked. And Matt Vaughan's going for value.
What do you think about going for value on this queen? I feel like it's a little ambitious.
Well, but the thing is, what queens is Isan supposed to have that beat Matt Vaughan specifically? It's really hard to come up with.
yeah.
any.
It just feels like Isan's not going to call with a lot of weaker aces because Matt Vaughan himself could have ace queen.
Matt's trying to get called by ace 9 all the way down to ace deuce.
And look at this. Isan is thinking about it.
And this is an easy call, right? You don't have to love it, but it's an easy call.
You have 10 suited or I have 10 suited?
I think you have 10.
Oh, okay.
Some tells me that 10 help you.
Gotta have ace 10.
And then ace 10 is good, 10 5 is good, 10 8 is good, 10 10 is good.
So they're doing all the shit here. This one's not going to make it anyways. This all screwed up.
He's not really taking his time in this spot. I'm surprised.
Sounds like you don't beat much.
Huh?
It sounds like you don't beat much.
Nah. I can beat.
King 9 of spades.
He can't fold, right?
Think of that.
He's severely under-repped here.
Yeah, he's so under-repped.
As we see, Matt was betting ace-jack for value. Isan should know that he can beat some value hands.
He also can beat bluffs, of course.
Of course, and Matt opened the button. Of course he can have bluffs. There's the call. There's Matt Vaughan. Wait for the face. There it is.
What is going on? How do you just always have the nuts, man? Holy shit.
Lisa, next time I'm only giving you 60 seconds. That was 90.
I get what Brewer's saying there.
That dude. You could have like so many
Holy
spoons.
shit, dude.
Yeah, could have ace
I
queen,
just
ace
always have
10.
me pipped. Every single hand.
That's, of course, referring to when he had ace-jack against Isan's ace-queen on an ace-ace-x board.
Right.
Where Matt went for value on 3 streets and did get called. He did get value of himself.
And Isan nit rolled that time, too.
Yeah,
So-
he took his time. That's right.
I think when Brewer is saying I'm giving you 60 seconds next time, he's referring to Isan's consistent nit rolls.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
Blaming me for your technical difficulties.
I get that Ace King is uncomfortable on that river, but you're so under-repped. You just flatted pre-flop. You've just gone check, call, check, call. You have to call with Ace
You've
King.
engineered the whole hand to call the river, right? You made it so you can call without putting in a huge amount of chips.
And Matt is a little frustrated.
Yes.
Ken's going to make a very small 3-bet here.
Very small. That is not going to get through. I'll tell you that. Stuart would never fold 8-7 suited for another $50 in this spot.
Especially in position.
Even out of position, he would call, I think, if he had already made it 35.
Yes.
But you're right. In position, it's that much easier.
Reasonably good flop for Ken, but he doesn't love the king. The diamonds are a bit scary, but he does have the ace of diamonds as a backup. Stuart might call once because he has the 8, although that's a big bet.
How much did he bet? 150 into 180. That is a big bet.
If Stuart folds this hand, it makes this bet seem like it's probably not great.
I wonder if Stuart just feels obligated to call once. And also thinking perhaps he can rep diamonds if the diamond comes and Ken checks. Nope, the sizing just scared him off.
That's a bit of an indictment on the bet there. It seems
Yeah.
like it was a bit of a game theory disaster. Maybe Stuart calls with a weaker jack sometimes.
I believe Stuart would call with a weaker jack.
But it's also, of course, harder for him to have a weaker jack because Ken blocks that.
Correct.
And Stuart is certainly calling with a king.
Of course, of course. If somehow he had 2 queens, he would call as well.
Yeah. Beer time.
But, you know, that's the Ken method, man. It's the snowplow.
The snowplow?
Yeah, you just go down the street. You don't care what's in front of you. It just gets out of the way, hopefully. That's the move. It's worked out really well for him on this show overall. He's up by far the most of any player we've ever had on the show.
Yeah.
Career. Stuart, same hand, different suits, but same hand.
Raise to 35. Fold, fold.
Maybe more like an Australian Outback truck driver. You know, they have like those things that used to be on old trains on the front of their trucks, and they just keep going if kangaroos are in front of them.
Isn't that just like a Mad Max thing?
No, that's real.
Huh.
I have a friend who spent a lot of time in Australia and went into the Outback and learned all about it.
Okay.
That's Ken. He's that Australian Outback truck driver.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's Ken. That's the friend of yours
No,
who's
he's
in
not.
Australia.
Well, that's where he learned his method of play. Yeah.
Ken's going to call it the Jack 8 off on the button.
I mean, he's
Optimistic.
just feeling it, I guess.
Yeah. At least he's on the button, you know?
5 to the flop.
And
like-
he's dominating. He's not dominated. That's pretty good, too.
It's like Steph Curry taking a half-court shot when they're up by 20 with 20 seconds in the shot clock.
Matt Vaughan flops best. No one else really has anything. I guess Digital Dan's got the gutter. But I got to believe Matt Vaughan's probably just going to bet this, and likely that's going to be the end of the story.
I don't see anybody continuing.
Matt Vaughan would have to bet pretty small to keep people around.
Now, Dan might decide to raise,
That's 85.
but other than that, I don't see anybody sticking around.
Yeah, he does have the gutter and the backdoor hearts. Not the end of the world to raise here. It's also his kind of a board. Matt Vaughan also takes a lot of stabs.
He does. He's stabby.
So it turns out he's got it this time. He's got top, but still. Digital Dan were to raise, what can Matt Vaughan actually beat besides like 5-6? Kind of almost nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
He might feel obligated to call once,
He's going to have to call, but
but is he going to call turn in river? I doubt it.
I don't know.
But then Digital Dan, of course, has to fire turn in river. Always a problem.
It's
It's
tough
asking
to,
a lot.
It's tough to pull those triggers.
Yeah.
You couldn't have me outkicked in that one.
I did.
No, I had the best 10.
So did I.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
At ace and off. So,
Thank God you folded. I would have found a way to lose that hand otherwise.
ace of spades, huh? Or something like that.
Matt has a nice, robust vlogger voice, and
He really does.
Isan needs to speak a little louder if we want to hear.
Call for the chop.
Fold.
Joseph likes 6-4. I think there's a thing with Joseph and 6-4.
Mm. People have their lucky hands. Their favorite hands. It's a familial thing, you know?
Familial.
Yeah, like it's like the family. 6-4 suited is part of Joseph's family.
That makes sense.
4 deuce off is part of Digital Dan's family. you
Right.
know? That's all. Nothing weird about that. Joseph does flop best.
He does. He's gonna check it back. That's normal and fine. Now
Turns
he picks up
open-ended,
a.
but an 8 would be a disaster.
Stewart might take a stab.
Yep. With the gutter, where he doesn't want to have to check call, but he can definitely bet. Joseph, of course, never going to fold here.
That's 55.
Joseph's probably planning on going call on a lot of runouts. But we've seen Joseph make some pretty conservative folds in the past.
We have.
And this would not be a conservative fold. Now, that is not a card that Joseph will be folding on.
No, this is super easy. The question is, Stewart could really reasonably bet this, though. He can have trip 6s much more of the time than Joseph can, although it turns out this time it's almost like their hands should be reversed. I think Stewart should take a shot here. It's not going to work out, of course.
I think he should, because he could have a jack and he could have a 6. And Joseph doesn't have as many of those cards based on the action.
The 8 missed. The open-ender missed.
140.
Joseph's just wondering if he should raise or call here. I imagine he'll just lean towards calling.
I think calling with this kicker is a good idea. Also, of course, there are other hands that beat you, straights and full houses.
Right, and I don't
that.
think Stewart's calling with a jack if Joseph raises.
No, I don't think so either. Stewart's got way better hands in his range than that to call with. Joseph, though, cannot be considering folding this, even though we've seen him make some crazy folds.
This is the moment where Stewart has hope, where he thinks
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe he's going to fold, but he doesn't know that Joseph's just contemplating raise or call. But at least he has this hope, this moment,
It's nice to have that. Looks like he's pulling out raising chips. Stewart insta folds.
325. Yep.
Joseph disagreed with us.
Maybe he could
Thought
get
he
called
could
by a
get
jack
value.
sometimes.
Thank you, Dan.
If Stewart really doesn't believe Joseph, he can get called by a jack sometimes.
Maybe.
Ooh, Digital Dan. It's a
Well, he
tough
lost-
month in digital land.
Yeah, he did lose, what was it, 1,500 on the one hand when he check raised Elwood and barreled
He
off.
was in position. He just raised him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But still, he barreled off there. When it was all in by the turn, I believe.
When Elwood flopped the
Elwood
nuts,
flopped the
having
nuts.
3-bet 8-9 off.
Pretty good deal. Was it off? It wasn't even suited, huh?
It was off. Yeah.
Joseph?
Dan had ace-4 of clubs, I think.
All right, we're going to see how loosey-goosey Joseph's really feeling. Okay. now
It's
we
just
know.
6-4.
Yeah.
It's just Matt Vaughan has seen Poker Time and is a big Digital Dan fan.
Yep, this is his homage to the digital one. He who is not corporal. There he is.
What?
He's not corporal.
The third rank of military.
Is it corporal?
Yeah, I think that's what it changed.
Close enough. No one says that word. Whoever says that word out loud. Corporal. Okay. Oh, it's got a reasonable hand here as well.
Might even
He's
be,
pulling
I
out,
might- I
looks
think it
like
might even
3
be
betting.
corporeal.
Yeah, I think you're right. But that's a 3-bet.
It is.
Wow.
We've seen Elwood do this before. That was the 8-9 scenario where it
Yep.
was like an open and a couple calls, and he decided to squeeze with 8-9. Worked out great. Let's see how it works out this time because I think
Probably going to work.
Dan might call, although he has a
It's
really short
160
stack.
out of position. He's not going to call.
You're right. If it was suited, I don't know. He's probably call.
Suited, he might call. He's like you said, he's short too. But whoa, and he's going to
course.
call anyway.
Of course he's gonna call.
He's the non-corporeal one.
There you go, corporeal. That's
I'm going to say that more. Oh, and this is sort of the worst case scenario for El Digitale. Sorry, for Elwood. And
Yeah.
he actually flops top pair.
but he does have tens as an out.
Yeah,
as
tens
well.
and jacks. That's true. But still, the queen high nature of the board is sort of the worst nature of the board for Elwood, right? Elwood might check it back here. Oh, I like a bet.
I wouldn't hate checking it back. I mean, you don't want to get check raised with this hand, and Dan has a lot of check raises in his range on this board.
Dan only has 825 left. I think if you get check raised, you just don't fold. He's
I
going
know, but
to move in and you call. That's
yeah,
it.
I guess so, but that kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, but if Dan wants to get all in, he can get all in even if we check it back.
I imagine Dan will just call, though, with his hand.
Yes, based on the nature of everything.
The nature of everything.
I'm a big Stephen Hawking
If
fan.
you can really explain the nature of everything, you could make a
can.
lot of money with that.
Yes. Okay,
well, that's
this is
just
a-
going to kill the action.
Yeah. Well, Elwood's going to be really happy that 3 of hearts came most likely. Although if he checks it back, the digital one could decide to shove the river. Problem is, Elwood could be checking back better hands.
Elwood could easily check back an overpair.
We're assuming Elwood's checking it back, by the way.
Yeah, he's going to check it back. Come on.
I mean, any guy with that much pizza on one shirt has got to check this back.
It's a really
Right?
funny joke. You keep misnaming the thing on his shirt over and over again. It's really
Sorry,
good.
watermelon on his shirt. He's really got to check it back. Whatever. Watermelon
You
pizza.
actually
They all
got
look the same to me.
Watermelon. You got it right for once.
He does check it back. It's understandable. And that's a pretty safe card. I think one of these guys is going to go for value on the river.
It is the 3 of spades, right? Or clubs.
It was wasn't it a 4?
It was a black 3.
Okay. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, 5 of diamonds. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
I think maybe the 3 of
Dan
spades.
checks
somehow-
again. I'm surprised. And Elwood checks it right back. Wow, I'm surprised no one went for value here. It's a really good opportunity for. I think Digital Dan probably should have gone for value with only 600 and the pot being 900.
To get called by specifically Queen Jack.
Pocket tens, all the draws missed.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. Actually, the hearts came in.
Yeah.
I take that back. The problem is, like, better hands are going to bet anyway. Like, Ace Queen is going to move you in
But
anyway.
what about letting bluffs bluff? Like, what are we getting called by besides Queen Jack?
Weren't bluffs going to bet the turn? I'd be worried about that.
I mean, bluffs might shut down because they think Dan has hearts a lot.
Yeah, I guess when we check again now. But then what do we have? I guess we can have 9s. We can have like ace 9.
Or
We
an
call it a
8.
3-bet. We
Yeah.
call it a $200
8,
3
9
bet.
suited? I don't know.
We're not supposed to have any of those things.
But you didn't answer my question, though.
Yeah.
What is Dan going to get called by?
I said pocket tens.
Pocket 10s, okay.
That's hard to come up with much else. Admittedly. Maybe I guess pocket 9s is the same as pocket tens.
I like checking better. I think it's a better play.
Here's Matt Vaughan. Matt Vaughan should be. Matt Vaughan's the kind of the name of like a biker guy, like a BMX dude.
Yeah. I could see that. Got myself a Vaughan special. It's like a type of BMX bike.
Oh, I was thinking Vaughan special is like a particular move, like a double flip with a triple sow cow.
It could
or
be
something.
both. It could be both if he gets big enough in the industry.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, that's a flop that always kind of freezes people up.
I mean, Matt Vaughan really reasonably could bet this because he has all the overpairs. Joseph does not. Of course, they both probably have about the same. Joseph probably has more tens, in fact, than Matt Vaughan does.
Right, but nobody's really super concerned about quads at this point.
That just checks it back, though. It's reasonable to do that. He might do that with aces and things like that.
Now he's
too.
got a flush draw, which doesn't feel like much, but it does matter.
I mean, if Joseph bets, it's not as good. But now that Joseph's checked, I expect Matt Vaughan to bet this flush draw. And I expect the hand to be over.
Joseph does have ace high, and Matt didn't bet the flop. He could consider call it. It's 30.
Yeah, he bets so small. Joseph now feels like he can't fold.
I think that's mostly a protection bet, getting worse hands out.
Will Matt bet again? Matt's not got to be worried about like pocket sevens, right, that aren't going to fold. He could have to size it up.
Yeah, I think Joseph's just going to win with ace high here most
I think
of the time.
$100 would do the trick, but pocket sevens might not fold for $100. Certainly ace high would. Go for 250. That would work against pocket sevens, I think.
Is he putting Joseph on a 5 now? Probably a lot of the time he's putting him on a 5.
That's why I said pocket sevens. It's sort of a similar type. He is going to go for this. Let's see how he sizes it.
He's not doing a great job of repping an overpair, but
like
I guess
110.
you could check back an overpair on the
Yeah,
flop.
sure. Or, by the way, 9s, 8s,
Yeah,
or any overpair. By the way, if he actually had a 10, he might check it back, too.
and it's going to work.
Yep. Nice hand, Matt Vaughan.
Just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is
Oh.
that the Nitrogen Sports Poker Train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever all of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They do.
Perhaps because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Was that my face this time?
Nope. It's
That was
never
still-
your face.
So
It's
you're-
always my
they still
face.
stretched your face over the front of a train?
They're going to do it forever, man. We made a deal with Nitrogen that they can only use that ad for the next 10 years, so it will always be on this show. The next 10 years. My face on a train. Congratulations, everybody.
It'd be cool if the show lasted 10 years.
Be cool if my face is on a train for 10 years. Who cares about this show?
Are they going to adjust it for age as you age? Are they going to put a new older face on the train?
They could probably do that digitally at this point. Talk to Dan about that. He can help them. Right?
Okay.
So we got ace-4 off, defending against Digital Dan suited connector. Great flop for the ace-4 off.
Terrible flop for Dan's hand.
Dan's
which-
going to take a shot.
He's probably going to take a shot, but it's probably not going to be a ton of money for Matt Vaughan here.
No, like I would expect this going to go bet, check, raise, fold a lot. Oh, and Digital Dan checks it back on this board. Surprising.
I don't actually like to check in theory, but it works out great this time.
Yeah. Now Vaughan thinking, how can I get value? Well, now king queen might pay me off. That's what he's thinking. Pocket queen's just zoomed ahead of me.
How about betting like $15?
Bet 65.
Maybe that would induce something. But it's reasonable to bet more.
Yeah, he's going for
Of
an
course.
axe. He's hoping king queen calls, basically.
Fold.
The digital one, maybe he picked up something on Mr. Vaughan?
Maybe, or
It's
maybe
like-
he just decided he's going to have a check back range on that flop, and it's going to include some aces and some hands that are just awful on that flop. And 8-9 of diamonds is one of those awful hands.
It's true. It is an awful hand.
In general, it's probably good when you have a
That's-
range advantage to continue, but if you're going to have a check back range, it's okay to have some complete garbage in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you can't bet all of your garbage
Yeah.
every time. However, that flop is like the kind of flop you just would expect an early position raiser to bet.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if not all the time.
I mean, it's like a flop that you always have to bet if it's the late stages of a tournament and you're the early position raiser and the pot's really important. You know, you really have to bet it there.
Sure.
Forgetting about balance. In a cash game, I understand. Sometimes checking back.
Ken's got the ace king of hearts.
Stewart almost getting frisky, but decided against it. Brewer's going to call,
Brewer's going to be dominated.
Call. Fold.
and Ken will destroy his world again, I'm sure.
That's what he does.
Ken, a couple episodes ago, called Brewer down with ace high on the turn and river.
Whoa, and Isan folds 6-3 suited in the big blind.
Locking it up.
That is legit locking it up. Isan has left the building, folks.
Chastity belt. That's the new nickname. All right, so
Wow.
Ken flops top,
Gut shot for a Brewer and a backdoor flush draw.
and a backdoor other straight draw.
Yes, that too. Brewer, I think, is probably going to find a call here. He's in position.
Could also raise.
He can turn open-ended. He can turn a flush draw. He's got the gutter. He's got the overcard. He
I think
might
you have
the
to
best
call
hand.
Ken. Ken C-bets
Yeah.
like a maniac.
I agree. Ken bets again. You're not going to like it as much now.
Yeah, I think Brewer's going to give up now. He was planning on betting if Ken checked, I imagine.
Ken, is that 125? It is. It's a
I mean,
little
Brewer,
more than half
if
pot.
Brewer raises right now, it looks super strong. I just don't know if it would work on Ken.
I don't know either. Ken obviously not a big believer in Brewer. Also, as you mentioned, called down with ace 3,
Doesn't
turn
believe
and
in,
river.
like his life goals and stuff. Not a
What?
big believer in Brewer.
What do you mean life goals?
They're like, oh, you're never actually gonna climb that mountain, Brewer. I don't believe you can do it.
So by the way, Brewer called. Brewer just called that bet with
Yeah.
ace high. Is he going to call one more time?
He
It's
probably thinks he's
225.
ahead some of the time.
Well, I hope so because otherwise, yeah.
He's like, okay, fine.
He's really hoping Ken was going to shut down on the river or a beautiful queen was going to show up. Neither happened, and Brewer gave up.
And I think Ken has broken another man.
That was a questionable call on the turn, I
Yeah.
think. And I'm being a little generous with that, I think.
Yeah, because you know Brewer and you're friends with him.
Yeah,
That's
because
fine.
that if anyone else made that call, I'd probably kill him a little bit. But I wouldn't kill my friend Brewer. I would never say anything bad about that horrific call that he just made on the turn. You know?
I think it's a fine call if you have a plan to raise the river a lot.
Sure. And maybe there are certain rivers he's going to raise, and just
Yeah.
maybe that just wasn't one of them. Brewer is quite accomplished as a poker player.
Don't
To be
give him
clear.
don't give him little treats at the
It's-
end.
you know, it's
just
true.
Leave it to
I'm just
settle.
letting the people know who don't know who he is that he's not just a random nobody. He's a random somebody.
Random somebody, and Stewart's got the ace queen this time. This seems like a popular hand these
They've been
days.
passing it around the
Ooh-wee.
table. Isan, there's no way he's going to play this one. I'll tell you what. Do you think he's tanking just to get to the end of the episode?
It's different than the bubble tank. It's just getting to the end of the session.
And that is going to do it. If Isan didn't play 3-6 suited last time,
That would be
closing
funny.
the action in the big blind 3 ways, he's definitely not playing queen 9 suited in the small blind.
That's a funny new tactic. Locking up the win on poker time by knowing when the session is going to end.
You are allowed to just get up and leave, by
Yeah,
the way.
you
It's a
can
cash
leave.
game.
It's a cash game. We got alternates waiting.
Yeah, it's fine. But Isan is doing it differently. That's fine. Maybe he's just waiting for a really good spot. Maybe he just doesn't want to put any money unless there's a really, really good spot, which is fair. But I don't know about that 3-6.
Feels
suited.
good enough with his 4K win, Doesn't
Yeah.
feel like he needs to do anything else. That's a pretty good day's work.
It is. It's an excellent, excellent day's work at 5-10. Really at most things.
Hey, finally a really big hand. We haven't seen. Well, I guess Elwood had aces earlier.
Yeah.
To 40.
Isan happy to fold the queen 7, and
Ooh,
Ken's got a
this
hand.
might be trouble for the destroyer.
How does the destroyer
How
know?
does he know?
You know, he got it all in with 10s earlier against Joseph. Now he just calls with 10s against Matt Vaughan's kings. Correct both times.
How does he do it?
Got to read on the table, man.
Well, now he's got to be in trouble, right?
Well, let's find out how good his read really is.
This is a type of spot where Ken check raises pretty frequently, right?
Yeah. Matt Vaughan checks
He
it
checks
back.
it back. That was such a mistake.
It's a board-based check.
I know, it makes sense. Okay, now
Ken's going to bet.
I think Matt might raise. He could call or raise.
I expect him to be more likely to call than to raise.
I think he's got to raise the river if the board runs out clean, though, if he doesn't raise here.
Like if a 5 or a deuce comes.
Yeah. I don't know about a 5.
Well, what counts as clean then?
Not that.
That's not clean.
That's not at all.
Wow,
clean.
what a death card.
Super unclean.
Matt Vaughan does have the nut blocker, though. Is Ken going to bet this? This would be asking a lot for Ken to bet this.
I wonder if Matt Vaughan's next vlog is going to be called "How I Won the Minimum with Kings on Poker Time."
Ken does bet. Oh no. Ken
No,
called. It checked.
was-
It checked to Matt. He bet 100 and got called with this king.
Well, good on Matt for knowing that he could still value bet when the ace of clubs came.
Ken would have been bluffing on the turn, hit his ace on the river, but then be afraid of the clubs, right? Which is not something really to be afraid of. Vaughan didn't bet the flop, which he's usually going to do with the flush draw.
Yep.
Matt Vaughan extracts the $100
Yeah, that was a nice
from
bet.
Ken. But to your point, had he bet the flop, things could have gotten a little bit explosive. Could have been
Yeah.
like Die Hard 2,
My least favorite Die Hard.
but explosive.
Oh, wait,
What are you talking about?
I didn't even think about 5. I forgot that 5 existed.
Wait. What's Die Hard 4?
4 is the one where he runs the motorcycle into the helicopter. It's awesome.
That's a horrible movie.
Oh my God, 2 is so much worse.
Oh, you're crazy. You are just.
No, 4 is
You've
fun.
just completely lost
4
your
is
mind.
the one with Justin Long. It's actually
yeah,
pretty fun.
I know we lost.
It's pretty fun.
The only good thing in that movie is Maggie Q. That's it.
It's pretty fun.
That movie's horrible.
Die Hard 2 is way worse.
No.
Tag your tweets.
Best Die Hard. Hashtag best Die Hard.
Obviously, Die Hard 3 is the best. Die Hard 2 is the worst.
Hey guys, look. Isan has a hand. He absolutely has to play.
He's forced to play, and now
He
he's going to
cannot
lose.
pretend.
He's going to lose 2.1K now.
Maybe more. Ken's in.
Call.
Lose up to 2.3K. Don't worry, Isan. Even if you double him up, you still walk out a winner. Probably.
I don't think he'd walk out too happy, though.
No, I don't think so either. Ace Queen of Clubs. It's very pretty. Not
Well,
as
he's
pretty anymore.
Well, 2
Elwood.
4s for Elwood.
And Stuart with 9s.
Stuart's going to get in a little trouble here. Probably not too much because the blinds do have 4s in their range.
Ken's got the gut shot as well, but Stuart bets is that 100?
Yeah.
I don't think Ken can call with his gutter for 100.
Action sucker.
Isan hates folding.
He hates folding, but he also hates putting money in the pot as
Well-
of right now. So I gotta believe he's gonna throw it away.
He hates folding post-flop.
Yeah, he
Pre-flop,
does.
he loves folding.
There you go. You gotta fold that one, Isan. Ken is gonna call. What a spot for Elwood here, where you almost always have the best hand.
I think it is probably a raise, but calling is reasonable too.
Yeah. You have no kicker. If you get action, you don't love it, but he is gonna raise it up. That's reasonable.
And the thing is, the problem with raising is that would Elwood really raise an open-ender based on how Elwood's played so far? Stuart knows that he wouldn't, right?
That's a good
so
point.
Elwood pretty much has a 4 all the time.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. A 4 or pocket 3s. Stuart's like, oh, that's like the guy I at least wanted to raise me. But in some ways it's good. Stuart knows where he's at, I would think. He's going to have to fold near the top of his range. But I got to believe, I've seen Stuart make lots of great folds. I got to believe this one's going to go in the muck.
This is a player-dependent thing. Elwood
Yeah.
has not shown that he's willing to check raise with just complete air.
I think if Ken check raise Stuart would absolutely not fold. Ken can have overpairs. Ken can have some weird air stuff.
There you go, Stuart.
But
Nice
he
fold.
knows.
That's a great fold by Stuart.
There's no way Ken can call, right? Yep, he's out right away. Elwood gets some extra cashosha.
Yeah, he could have called there, though.
Who?
Elwood.
Elwood?
Yeah, if he had more of a bit of a in-the-moment understanding of his image.
He's also, though, out of position. He's going to check through the turn almost always. I think it's fine to raise. I actually like a raise better.
But you always have a 4 if you're Elwood, right?
Well, I think he should not always have a 4 there. I think he should be able to have...
I know, but
I think
I'm saying up until this moment, in that moment.
Yeah,
do you
that's
think it
probably
was-
true.
Yeah, I
That's probably
think
true.
calling's probably better.
Okay.
Based on how the session.
If he can have any bluffs at all, then I like the raise.
But nobody at the table thinks he can have bluffs there.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. They haven't been watching all the hole cards. We have.
Okay, that's fair, but he hasn't been doing a lot of post-flop raising
No,
anyway.
he has not. That may be his only post-flop raise?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Oh, except for when he had 10s and got super unlucky against
Oh, yeah.
Matt Vaughan on the first episode.
That's great. So, yeah, he flopped the nuts
Yeah.
and raised, and now he flopped. And the only other time he raised was right now. Yeah, fair enough. Ken with the 10-3 suited.
He's gonna make it 40. Okay. This is some what the kids call street poker.
Look at this. Digital Dan not yet folding the 5 deuce. Okay, he was thinking about it. He's like, if only this was a 4.
Have you
If I
heard
had a
of
4 deuce, I could do something here.
Have you heard of this street poker, Jonathan?
I have not. Tell me about
Street poker is like a thing people have been saying for, I don't know, 6 months or so. It just
Yeah.
means you're playing ranges you're not supposed to play, basically.
That
But it
means-
makes it sound cool.
Street poker.
It's like anti-GTO poker, like
Yeah.
street poker, like Michael Mizrachi plays
like
street poker.
I didn't learn in books. I
Yeah.
learned on the street.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
just call with my I min-raise with my 10-3 suited because I'm gonna do weird stuff.
Look at this flop for Brewer. He
Street-
just slammed it. It checks through and,
he gets
bam.
there.
Not only
And-
does he get there, Ken turns open-ended. Ken's got to like his hand right now. Brewer, of course, has an unbeatable hand. Ken is going to just call. Boy, a offsuit jack would just be dreamy for Brewer.
Dreamscape.
That is not going to
It's
do
a
it, though.
deuce.
Brewer should bet for value, and Ken should fold. That's what's going to
That's
happen.
probably what's gonna happen. Yeah. At least Brewer got to win one off Ken. It's been a while.
See how much he bets here. Yeah, he bumps it up a bit. Ken's got nothing. 140, yeah. Easy fold, obviously.
So disappointing as Brewer when you've been battling with Ken all day and Ken's been getting the best of you and you finally have it and Ken just easily folds the river. So
At least he paid you off on the turn.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't bet very much. I think he bet 45 on the turn, but that's something. Let's take a look here. Isan's still way in front. Our vlogger number 2. And Ken's made a little bit of money, too.
Everybody else
Digital
funding
Dan.
the game, especially Dan.
Yeah, Digital Dan is the caboose of the train. Not
Yep.
the happy face in front.
You are the foot.
Very nice. That was good.
Thank you.
It's a Snowpiercer reference for those of you who don't know. Tilda Swinton.
Gotta love me
Snowpiercer
love me some
reference.
Tilda.
That's, of course, about a train, so it's even better.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a perfect thing you just said there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Elwood with a real hand. He could 3-bet or he could call. I would expect him to call a lot.
Looks like a 3-bet.
But he is going to 3-bet. He's really put on his 3-betting shoes the last few episodes.
3-betting foot.
And Joseph really can't fold.
Deep enough to call.
Gonna just have to call sometimes and hope it all works out.
Joseph needs something good to happen in this session. He's been having a rough one.
That
is something good right there.
That
that
is
is something good.
Quite good. All right, let's put our tells expert to the test. Let's see if he's going to be able to figure out that he is not in as good shape as it looks like.
I mean,
He checks
he
it
checks
back.
it. That is incredible.
It is
Did
a super dry
Did he
board.
pick up a tell?
Oh my
This
gosh.
is just unfair now. Okay, so Joseph's getting the double most of the time.
Well,
here.
Elwood, it's got 22% equity. Let's not forget. Any
Okay.
deuce, or ace, or queen, Elwood's going to win with.
I just said most of the time.
They're all live too.
Elwood could call. He could raise. Both are very reasonable. Joseph's got a lot of pocket pairs between the 7 and the queen here. He doesn't want to blow Joseph away from those hands.
I kind of like a call here and raise the river.
Joseph
Look how dry the board is.
Joseph does have a lot of weaker queens in his range too, although it's
He
hard.
does.
It's hard for him to have them based on blocking, but if he does, raising is obviously going to
Of
do
course.
well. But this is
He's going to raise it up, and here we go.
this is a nightmare scenario for Elwood here.
Joseph starts by pulling out the calling chips, but now pulls out a little bit more.
Wonder if
Elwood's
Zach's
just staring.
picking anything up on Joseph because he has been making some facial
I
expressions.
mean, Zach's hand is so strong. Joseph might do this with king queen, right? From Zach's point of view.
I don't know if Joseph's too good to do this with
Yeah,
king
I mean,
queen.
I agree with you. I know Joseph won't, but Zach hasn't probably seen nearly as much of Joseph as we have.
And that looks like it is a 3-bet, and this is now scary for Elwood, but he
Yes.
cannot fold.
It would be absurd to fold this hand. You just have to call, even though you're beat.
Basically,
a
he's
lot.
up against 7s full, deuces full, or he's winning. It says he's all in. That's not true. He's raised to something like 5-10.
Yeah. I was probably just trying to decide call or shove. I like a call here better than a shove, but it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, he does call.
Looks like it is 500.
500? Oh, 510,
510, yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's been fixed. But you see, Joseph only has 840 back. They're going to get it in a lot on almost any
A
river.
heart could kill the action for at least for Elwood. He might think now he can't beat anything.
He has the ace of hearts in his hand, though. It's not great. Also, Joseph 3, but he doesn't have to worry about that too much.
All right, we're going to see a river eventually.
I'm excited to see a river when it comes. Here we go. The 8 card. Joseph has nothing to worry about with that 8. The only thing he's reasonably losing to here is quads.
I can't imagine Elwood folding. Joseph
Nope.
would have to have 7s full, deuces full, or queen 8 suited. All unlikely. 7s and deuces make sense. Queen 8 suited, not so much.
I mean, he opened under the gun. He's not going to have queen 8 suited, right?
Right. Well, although we've seen him open 6-4 under the gun, so can't be a guarantee.
Okay, but from Elwood's point of view, you wouldn't
Right.
think it. Is Joseph not going to move in? Oh, he might be leaving. This might be a gift for Elwood. By the way, it says Joseph has 840.
Yeah,
it looks like he has
he's
a lot more than
he's,
that.
He's added on, and we
Yeah.
didn't get that, I guess.
Yeah, he definitely has more than that.
And Elwood with a quick call.
Yep.
7's full.
Wow.
7.
That was an unavoidable spot.
No,
795.
795, yeah. Joseph had a solid, what? Another $1,000 behind or something like that, looks like. So Elwood actually did well not to go broke there.
and then I was like, he really does have it.
Nothing Elwood can do about that.
I was hoping it was King Queen.
5 from Matt.
I mean, checking back the flop may have saved him
Yeah.
the rest of it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of.
It does suck when you're praying the guy has king queen and it's hard for him to have that. But your hand is too good.
I mean, that's just a classic cooler.
Yes.
Not much you can do about
I
it.
mean, it was so sick another queen came on the turn.
Sure. Got it.
Hey, is this a bomb pot?
It
Back
looks
to
like
bomb pot.
we're going to have a bomb pot.
Final hand, bomb pot.
I've been told by Isabella, our new assistant,
Yeah.
that this is the final hand and it is going to be a bomb pot.
Of course, a bomb pot is where everyone puts in $25. Everyone gets cards, and a flop is put out, and we play from the flop. So everyone gets to see the flop, and we're gonna have $200 in there. Isabella, of course, we're really working out. We're really excited for our new intern. And
I
we
mean,
think she's gonna be around.
She's like number 9 on the year, so
But-
I'm never optimistic.
No. I really think this is the one. But anyway,
All right, let's see what people have here. So far, a bunch of garbage. Okay,
Pocket tens
Elwood's
for
got
Elwood.
10s. Elwood's got the best hand by
but
far.
of course he cannot raise pre. We're going right to the flop.
I just started glistening.
Does that count as a knit roll? Is that what that is?
And it is a king 3 deuce flop. Brewer's got the king. Joseph's got the 3.
Vaughn's got a 3,
Isan's
Vaughn's
got a
got the
gut
best three.
shot.
That is kind of the theme.
and Vaughn's gonna bet into the whole world with just a 3 and no backdoor. I guess a bad backdoor straight draw. This is surprising to me.
I don't think he's studied Wonka's bomb pot math.
I don't think he has. That is a surprising bet. That feels like a check fold most of the time into the whole world.
This is the stabs you're talking about. He takes stabs, man. He's like
Yeah.
Roberto from Futurama, the robot who stabs everybody.
Fold, fold.
I know you didn't watch Futurama, but you should have.
Certainly did not. Stewart's gonna fold. He's got a backdoor. Brewer's got top pair and just feels like he's got a call. He does.
Futurama's really good.
People say things like that. So it's just going to be Brewer and Vaughan. Stewart has folded. He has not called. That's incorrect. 5 on the turn. That would have been 2 pair for Stewart. He is not in this hand, though.
Nope, that is a lie.
Brewer checks again. He picks up a gutter as well. Vaughan picks up a gutter, but it would not be good to hit it, Matt. You don't want to hit this.
If Vaughan keeps betting, it gets
mean-
real scary for Brewer.
It's true.
I mean, I think I would fold most of the time in a bomb pot.
I think if Brewer doesn't pick up the gut shot, he's going to fold kind of instantly right now. Now it's a little different.
It is.
How much is this bet? 230.
I guess it's small. It's a small bet. Oh, well, no, Stewart hadn't called, so it's actually less
Oh,
small
yeah.
than
It's
it looks
$100 less in the pot. Yeah. Brewer just have seen Matt Vaughan, I guess, take too many shots, and it's like, you're Carmeloing, baby. I know. And
That's an interesting
it's gonna make
card.
top 2 for Brewer, but a straight is out there, 4 cards to it.
I don't think Brewer will be folding, though.
It's hard for anyone to have a 4.
Right.
Brewer could have 4-5 exactly.
So could Matt.
Yeah, that's true.
Both players could have 4-5.
Brewer looks like he's loading up to
Wow.
bet.
Brewer's going for value. I think he's putting Matt on a big king. And
Yeah,
and
maybe
just-
even 2. Yeah, maybe a worse 2 pair.
Yeah. Could have 3-5 or something.
He's also blocking with this bet for sure. So Matt hasn't folded yet.
Nope. He's really thinking about something.
I mean, clubs missed.
That's all he's got to be thinking about, right?
I got nothing else. Clubs missed, and it's a polarizing board. But it's a blocker bet. It's not a polarizing bet, right? Even though the board is polarizing. He didn't bet 800
Right.
into 1,000. He bet 350 into 1,000.
350.
Yeah.
Looks like
This
Matt's
can't
gonna
be real.
gonna call
No.
here.
No. He's just thinking about it.
He doesn't want to get bluffed in the last hand.
Well, he's not going to get bluffed on the last hand. Oh, he
Oh,
does
he-
call.
Great value bet by
Wow.
Brewer.
Kings and sixes.
Brewer had a rough session up until then. That'll help him out a lot on the drive home, and we'll see you next
Wow.
Tuesday for an all new session of Poker Time.
Wow.
And,